Yeah, let it be.
Okay, do we need to come out of a come out of executive session?
Oh, well,
Yeah, let it be.
that was probably old. Oh, it's still.
Okay, we're out of executive session at what time do you get? 7:56 p.m. And action regarding executive session, give direction to city administrator regarding special utility district regular water supply. No action taken. Is that somebody need to make a motion or is that just acclamation? Okay. All right, we're gonna go back up to number 7, the consent agenda, and we've got, oh, excuse me, yes. Number 5, citizens comments. Have you got anybody sign up? Ms. Bush? Okay, Kim Stevenson, if you'd like to come up, we're gonna discuss the spring fling 2024, looks like.
Just put the bug in your ear. Hi, guys. Kim Stevenson. You guys are used to me from Seymour Helping Hands. We wanted to formally request permissions for next month to be placed on the agenda to discuss our spring fling. It'll happen on May 4th, 2024. We're already working toward it. We're excited. We've got KFDX Channel 3, Fox 18 is going to sponsor the event this year. We wanted to go over some details, make sure we had all concerns so that we come back right before it happens and make sure that there's no worries from the city or anything like that. This year will be a full day event if possible. But it's not just Seymour Helping Hands that's going to get the assistance. There are some things in the works to help other civic organizations be able to raise some funds that day and help them as well. One other thing I'd like to ask is, as you guys look at your budget for the next year, please consider placing rails. I know I spoke to Jeff, and possibly a ramp over there near where the community center is going to be at. We're hoping to have it open by December 1st, somewhere in that area. With having elderly people that are going to be coming there. We've already had an event that was in front of Gypsy Emporium. We had a couple of elderly ladies that came out to that, and it was wonderful, but it is hard for them to get up and down, especially right there. So when you are budgeting, please keep that ideal in mind for us. That's all.
Did you say May the 4th?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
First Saturday night.
I guess that concludes our citizen comments. Have anything else? Okay, now we can get to the consent agenda. Okay. All right. Any questions from council on the consent agenda? Anyone in the visitors that you'd have an opportunity to speak on that? Number 1. Okay. I guess at this point we'll take a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'll so move.
Okay,
I second.
okay, last and win. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes. Go to number 8, city administrator reports. Dr. Brazier.
Thank you. Software membership is up to 109. Staff report, we did hire Mr. Jonathan Olinger for the street department. I did communicate that to y'all. So he'll start at the on the 4th, I believe it's the Monday in September. And that is the same time in which Mr. Moore will be retiring, or allegedly will be retiring. So that really puts us at a full staff at this point. So I think we are sitting really well with our staff. Also, you have, of course, your monthly reports from all your department supervisors, questions regarding those. Remind everyone that our annual City Hall Haunted Halloween celebration is coming up on October 28th. So it'd be great for council could participate and you cook hot dogs. We'll try to get those donated again by United and just have a great time and make it a memorable experience for community and specifically for our children. It's great PR for our city to be involved with our community on that level. We'll also give you a financial report. We're still not caught up for where we need to be on cash. So continue to work on being frugal and hopefully the end of this month, we'll hopefully catch up and end up the year of the balanced budget. On your budget review, we'll kind of overlap this just a little bit. Really, at this point, nothing's really changed from what we presented to y'all last year. There are a few things I want to try to consider to allow us to add or not add. It's really up to y'all, but really just depends on what y'all decide to do with our tax rate, which we'll cover in just a minute. But if the money is available, depending on what y'all do with our tax rate, we'd like for y'all to consider allowing us to add $22,250 a year. Our staff for the pyramid care, which that covers the employee and the family. It comes to about $7 a month per employee, and so with our employees, you're looking at about $2,250 to $2,400 for that service. So I do think it's a great benefit, and I thought about it too, considering how dangerous some of the jobs are of our employees, such as our police department. Our military department, if something did happen to them, getting them air flighted to a hospital could be a matter of life and death. And the fact that it would cost them any money would be a huge asset. So I'll consider that. I know some of y'all have talked to Sawyer. I know they talked about tasers, also body cams. Today we did visit. He said that they could probably do without the tasers for another year. So like that the tasers currently are working. However, he feels the body cameras is something that they really need to look at. And as we all know, that's essential this time as people will sue you or make accusations. And certainly, if there is an incident, having that in court will go a long ways and certainly give them a peace of mind. I think we talked about that. You don't necessarily need 6, which this estimate comes with. He said they could probably get by with 4 or 5. Yeah, and so he had that number, and so that would lower that probably to about $6,000 a year, 4 or 5 years. So we'd like to consider that as well. Lauren, do you want to talk about the license that we discussed or not in the middle of the time for the downtown? The alcohol license?
There you go.
So, I would like for the council to consider investing about $10,000 a year in the downtown, and in discussing where we want to see downtown in the future, felt like hiring someone to do an alcohol election for downtown would be a good investment for that. Currently, we're wet for the alley of Washington and Main, which is excluding all of our downtown area. So you can't have a tap house or a winery or a tasting or anything like that in your downtown, which are usual things that you find in those locations. So if we chose to hire someone to handle the petition in the election of I really don't know a ton about it. I would consider it to be like a downtown overlay for alcohol, in my opinion. If y'all wanted the whole city limits to go wet, you can. But my thought was just for the downtown area for business development. I'm afraid that may be a little bit more technical because there would be more ins and outs of very specific boundaries versus saying all the city limits. So I think it would be in our best interest if we hired someone to do that. And I think it would be in the best interest of downtown if that was available to businesses.
So we're talking about like if, let's say there was a restaurant or a couple of restaurants that opened downtown, They serve beer or wine that folks could walk down the street, drink, and look at the various shops or
So
walk through
we
town.
still have an open container law on public walkways. That doesn't change anything. You have to consume, and that's how it is. Like, if you were on Sixth Street in Austin, I'm pretty sure they don't have an open container, a law that lets you walk from bar to bar. You have to consume it, throw it away, and go to the next place. But what it would allow you to do is either buy liquor by the drink or retail alcohol, which means for a brewery, they want you to come in and taste their beer, but they want you to buy a 6-pack and go home with it. That's where how they make their money. And wineries are the same thing. If you had a wine tasting room, you come in and taste it, but they want you to buy a couple of bottles and leave. And so, but those are two different alcohol licenses, consuming alcohol on the premise or purchasing at retail like you do at a grocery store. So I would suggest that we would need to do both of those things. And it would take some planning from the council to kind of determine specific distances from other businesses. We have churches that are located near our downtown, and do you want it sold by the bottle here? Would you rather it be by the drink? And you kind of can determine then how your business activity is going to flow. But all of that would, be determined at a later date if you chose to go this route. But I think it would help build businesses downtown. We've had interested parties before, and when we tell them that they can't sell alcohol, they're like, because even restaurants that sell alcohol, it's 30% of their sales. So if you're a brewery, it's 100% your
And
sales.
so the cost before you estimated would be, how much would need to be added to the budget for getting that done?
I set it at 10,000, but I would like, if you got something that y'all are interested in, I'd research it even more heavily. If I was thinking more of a round figure to ask council, would you consider investing $10,000 in downtown annually, no matter what? And if that is what you're interested in, then we can do that in a lot of different ways. But this would be my first suggestion, and see what it's going to cost to hire someone to help us with that.
So before y'all respond to all that, hey, this is probably the most important part of the meeting tonight, is determine what y'all want to do with the tax rate. I know I've called y'all a lot of times because I've been getting different versions from the appraisal district. And so when we got one of those first versions, we were told that we were going to have a INS tax rate to pay back that $1 million winter freeze debt that we assumed. And so when that happened, I'll give you all the information. I can go over here in just a minute, but you're looking at a 12 cents INS, and that would then take our maintenance operations about 36 cents. Well, I panicked on that one because then that was going to leave us a whole lot less money on our taxes than we received this year. Well, then as I dug into that a little bit further, I did talk to our financial consultant, the one that actually did that deal for the city. And he said we don't have to have an INS that can be paid out of M&O, which is generally what municipalities do. So I thought, great, that's going to work a whole lot better. So I called Betsy, and then she ran another version of the template. And so then what we found out that our no new tax revenue was going to be I'm make sure I got all these numbers right because there were so many different ones. 0.3. I think it was 0.33. When we looked at that 0.33 or 0.36 was actually if you go up 3 cents, would be generating $353,000. Well, this year we generated $409,000. So that's $50,000 less. And so we built a budget thinking that we could go up to this year's current tax rate of 0.45623. And so that's kind of the direction we've been going. That was going to leave a deficit over $100,000. So, well, these are the options that y'all have. We can go to that 0.36, and we're going to have to basically cut everything extra that we kind of plan on doing. I mean, that may include our employee raises. You're going to have more street work. There'll be no dilapidated properties taken down. And then that other council-approved list, we're probably going to have to eliminate now because we can't afford it. The other option is that we could go in what they call the de minimis tax rate. And the de minimis tax rate, you can go up to like 88 cents, but that's way out there. But you can't go and increase your tax rate to 0.45623, which is this year's current tax rate. And by doing that, it will generate roughly $422,474, somewhere along in there, which is, you know, a little bit more than what we estimated that we would generate this year. Now, the downside of that is that when you go and do that de minimis tax rate, if the community protests, then that will create an election. So, you know, we may win the election or we may not. If you don't, then, you know, you have to refund that money. And then you have to pay extra fees for bailouts and all that stuff as well. But that de minimis rate was created for municipalities that have a population of 20,000 people or less because of this issue. Because even if we go to the max tax rate that we have, we're still not even getting, we're still $50,000 short of what we generated this year. I mean, and really, the reason you can go from 33 to 36, which that was initially created, is due to inflation. Well, we're generating less money, and we've not created any new revenue in the city. So we'll be operating on less money next year than we did this year. Is that making sense? So what we're asking y'all to do tonight is we're asking you to actually adopt the tax rate. But what I'm proposing is y'all go ahead and adopt the proposed tax rate of that 0.45623. Then we'll put that into the paper. And I think we'll say in that paper that, you know, something about, you know, could create an election or something like that. And y'all can see what the council says. I can do some more work on this, but I feel good about all of our numbers. And then y'all would actually decide the next election what y'all want to do. However, we need to feel pretty good about it, but we gotta build this budget. So either we're going to cut everything pretty much, and we'll just be existing. If we go with this 0.33 or this 0.36, or we go with that 0.45623, we'll be able to build in the raises and everything else that we talked about, including the things that we talked about tonight, if y'all want to incorporate those into the budget. So I know it's kind of rolling the dice, but really concerned about not having no money to really to do anything, make improvements for us. We really hadn't had anything. Our budget next year we're proposing is less than what the budget is this year. So really all thing we really asked us for, the only thing we really added is those things that we talked about, and then raises for our staff. You know, we did grow a lot with our police department. Y'all added 2 officers, benefits, so that was about $120,000 there. Other than that, we really haven't done.
Thank you. I was telling everybody to do that before I sit there. That would keep us a little above what we did last year. So all things being equal. 0.45623.
Correct. The other option would be to go ahead and do the M&O or the INS tax rate, generate the money to pay back that loan payment of $150,000. Then that would put your M&O rate at 36 cents, which still would leave a significant budget around 100,000. Then you could take that meter fee and then apply it to offset that deficit. It would be another one. Also.
There's another one that's like 0.9 or something that would bring in $500,000 or something, but you can't. Nobody's
No,
going to
I
go
don't
to
think
that. Nobody's going to double your tax rate, so to do that.
And so I know that's coming up here in a few items, but we really can't even know tonight, I guess, what we can do so that we can finish the budget. Are we going to cut, or are we going to try to incorporate some of these improvements? Now, I did find a gentleman that would look at this. He said there is a certain rate that would not, create an election, but I don't know what that number is because all this kind of hit me today. But if I have about 24, 48 hours, I can figure all that out. So, but
Right.
Anyway, so that's kind of where we are with the budget. I really can't add anything else until we know what our tax rate is, and that's going to determine if we again make these improvements or if we kind of stay status quo.
Right. All right. Okay, would you say that winds up our city administration report?
Unless the council has any questions about that. I know that's a lot of information. And I've been looking at this all week long and, I'd find a way out or a better route. I
Good.
think that's kind of what we're down to.
The figures have kind of changed back and forth that I think you've gotten sometimes, so that's kind of put you in a bind to exactly where we're at, but, personally, I don't know how we can go backwards if we're gonna, inflation, everything's, it just is.
So if we go with that 0.46,
4365, which is this year's tax rate.
we can still do everything we're talking about, plus make the payment.
Correct. I'm not saying everything, once we have to go in there and balance everything, things look really good, pretty good right now. But, Mary has to go do the final touches on it. So there might be something we have to cut, or, just make sure balance, but right now, some of our preliminary numbers look pretty good.
Do we have to do something on that right now, tonight?
No, yes, on the action item, which is coming up, y'all will have to take action on your proposed, and that's when we'll run put that in the paper, if you got the day, see the last day, had those in there, put items in there, and then come back next month with a hearing, then you'll adopt your budget and your tax rate.
Okay.
Jeff and Lauren, I guess on the rewind back to the liquor thing before that for the downtown, putting that blanket, kind of extending those boundaries over. I don't know if it's gonna cost $10,000 or not, but before we decided to spend that much, did you, or the economic, or not, the Chamber of Commerce maybe finds people that are showing interest, like guaranteed potential interest in coming in before we do that? Like they're like saying, hey, you guys get this, we're coming in, kind of thing. Because that way we can know that we get a kind of a return on our investment there, and we're not just gonna do that and nobody moves in for 10 years and we're like, well, that was great,
All right. Public hearings, y'all ready to move along? Second and final public hearing regarding a specific use permit request to place an RV as a temporary residence. 0.72 hundredths of an acre, lots 8 through 12, block 32 subdivision. McLean, located at 409 North Murray in Seymour, Texas.
Sit down right there.
Yeah, there you go.
This is your second and final public hearing concerning the house that's being built on Murray Street over here. And they're just requesting to be able to live in their RV while their house is being built.
Everybody know where that is down the street here? Okay. Any more discussion on that? Allow him to do that? Seem reasonable to y'all? Does to me. When there's no more discussion, somebody will make a motion on that.
I'll make a motion.
Oh, it's just public. Sorry, we hadn't got to that. Sorry about that. I know. Won't be the last time. Table items. Number 10. Remove table item concerning a request from Mike for a specific use permit to place a single wide manufactured home 1101 East Nevada Street, also known as Block 4, Block 13 of the Wheat Edition. July, it was tabled July 20th, 2023 meeting. Okay. If nothing happens tonight, it just dies. He's not here tonight. Okay. If there's no action in that table item, no motion, it dies. Okay, action items. Now, here we go. A, discuss and take action to review and approve the proposed tax rate that we just discussed. Ms. Welch couldn't be here tonight. So,
Yeah, that's me.
yes.
Okay, so just to make it clear, so the no new revenue tax rate that we're looking at is 0.3468. The voter approval tax rate is 0.3605. And it's at 0.3605 that generates the $353,699, which is $50,000 less. Think about that. The whole reason they put that in there is to compensate for inflation, but you're still $50,000 less than what you were before. And that makes no sense whatsoever. So, so that's why we're asking for this year's tax rate of 0.45623. But again, y'all can go down just because we do this. Y'all can go down, but you can't go up. So if y'all go with the 33, 34, 36, just know we're going to come back with a very bare bones minimal budget for y'all to approve. Go with this, and you run that risk of election. I think if people understood what we are, what we're trying to achieve, and what we're trying to accomplish. 0.45623. Yeah. Oh, but you know what? It's not. It's 0.43625. I can say I've seen many numbers. I'm a big dreaming about it tonight. There's a 5 in there. It's not.
Yeah. We're raising 2.43 from 0.3. What was the inflation number?
I'm not sure that I have a question, but if
You
you,
said they adjusted it for inflation, but we had 50,000 less. What was that rate?
oh, that was 0.36. It was 0.3605. Exactly.
Like to make, someone have a motion? Go ahead.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion.
Does somebody need to speak? We'll give people a chance. Okay. Okay, gotcha.
Mayor, I make a motion that we make the tax rate 0.43625.
Okay, that's the proposed. I just want to clarify, that's the proposed, and that will be in the.
Yes. Okay, we've got a motion. Any discussion on that?
That's the number that we put that in the paper and all the vote and everything, right? So could possibly.
It states it in the notice.
Right, yeah, just, right. Right.
But if y'all propose this, we're gonna go ahead and build a budget on that.
Right, what's the number that won't potentially have to make a vote, we just get on back and go, like, can you do 0.42?
But that's just it. I just found all this out. I was on the phone at 5:30 still trying to work some of this out. Talking with different individuals. I don't know what that number is.
If we could skim some of those, I want this budget items, the higher ones down a little bit, go 0.42 or something like that, potentially not having to get it voted back and refunded all and really get behind. But then maybe there's somewhere.
So what you can do is do the 0.43. Once I find out that number is and it's within range, then I would come back and actually probably to adopt that number.
Right.
And then we'll scale down the budget to fit
Okay.
that tax rate.
I just don't want that risk because with everything that's going on, inflation, the country, all this stuff that's going on, people see it raise even more. They're losing more money potentially. They're going to panic. And the school budget is going to look kind of sketchy when it comes out in the paper too. And they're going to panic about that. It's just going to be a downflow of people, where's my money going? Why am I losing my money? And I'd rather not potentially be on the bad end of that, having to pay it all back and do the mailers and all that. It makes the public unhappy and more.
You're talking, I mean, if you drop that to 4.2, you're talking like mining money. That money out there is what, like $40 a person a year? Family? Right, okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to lower it just to the point where we don't have to, where it won't trigger a vote. And that way also that we don't potentially scare people saying we're going to the point where they have to ask their permission, basically. I mean, if we do it to where it's within our operating and we can do it without being outlandish, because they're thinking.
But also,
You don't go, if you're skimping for money, you don't go try to add on to your house. You know what I mean? You try to be frugal for a little while and then you wait until the materials go down a little bit, then you add on to the house. So if we're in inflation, everything's expensive, you kind of maybe.
but you're also talking like, this is somewhere around $40 a family
For $100,000.
for $100,000 house.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I'm gonna put this out there. People quit buying cigarettes, beer,
Hey, that's a sales technique. we use
downgrade on
forever,
a cell
for sure.
phone.
That's
you know.
that's a sales technique I've been using for a long time, but
Let's get
they're,
this,
they're not gonna.
get this debt paid.
Right. Agreed.
And get it, possibly look at raises, get some of the dilapidated houses down. If we go the other way, we're not getting none of that.
It's kind
And
of
those-
tread water.
Understand what you're saying?
But those numbers, it's not gonna say in the paper, this is, whatever. It's just like when we did the bonds. They're not gonna come out and say, this is only gonna affect you $20 a month, $20 a year or something.
Right.
They don't see that. They see an increase in taxes. That's all they hear. Increase in taxes, more money out of my pocket. And it's just a way to try to alleviate that and help them a little bit. And then that way we don't look greedy. In a sense.
You're saying the 4365 is just a proposed and then it came from lower, like, once you figure it out, so.
The council, I mean, the
Yeah.
council can adopt, y'all can go down to 0.33 if y'all wanted to.
But
But we still got to put together a budget. We got to make sure our budget fits our revenues.
Our tax rate's way lower than school, county. I mean, well, it's not lower than the hospital, but but of the three main tax names, we're way down. I mean, by far.
Yeah, we want. We look like the good guys then,
Yeah.
because the schools and stuff has changed a little bit. They're just different than what is on those sheets that I gave you today. They're just lower than that. And so it's still different.
That's not a huge increase, but I totally understand what you're saying. All right. So we're gonna go with the motion is for the 0.43625 at this time. I second from Wynn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that's it. 5-0. Let's move on to action item 11B, discuss, consider, and take action regarding a specific use permit for location at 409 North Murray Street, Seymour, as requested by T. Don Hughes. We have a motion on that.
I make the motion, we allow him to put the town trailer in there.
Motion from
I say,
Councilman Hendricks, got a second from Skylar Hendricks. Anybody wants to come up? Okay, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, same. Passes 5-0. Discuss, consider, and take action to approve a contract between the city of Seymour and Viking. That's the water tower folks.
That's correct. And that was about $35,000 savings for our citizens.
Someone,
I make a motion for us to accept it,
okay, Council Lady,
approve the contract between the city of Seymour and Viking.
Second.
motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? 5-0. Favor. 11D, discuss, consider, and take action regarding a request by court for a specific use permit. Place a single wide manufactured home, 1101 East Divide, also known as Block 4, Block 13 of Wheat Edition. I think we've dealt with that. It's dead, so we don't have to consider that. E, discuss, consider, and take action to open the Salt Fork Recreational Complex gun range. We have a motion on that, or we'll discuss this a little bit first.
Yeah, we did put the SOP in your packet. I also sent that to y'all. Appreciate Lauren putting forth the work to get that out to y'all. And remember, this is a living, breathing document. I mean, this is not etched in stone. It can be changed. So, as we move forward and actually get it open, we can always modify, make changes, and whatever the council feels comfortable. So, so y'all, we're not really asking y'all to approve that, but at this point, we're just saying this is what we put together. I think a lot of y'all have given some feedback, and I know Lauren suggested that. I've also sent that out to Mr. Hittrick, and I sent that out to some of the other interested parties. I've not heard anything back from them as well. I do want to say that Todd has to move forward, and they've got the pole set to block off access to the gun range. So they're pretty much, I would say, done, but they're shooting by the rope to put across the end of the cable. And they're working on putting together on the signage, and I know we're working on trying to get a training set up so that we have a gun range master, which is completely necessary. Once we get all these things done, TML required we have it come out and inspect it to make sure that we meet all the requirements so that we are covered through our insurance. Once that's done, we have council approval, and we'll open it, or we can bring it back to y'all Have y'all, whatever y'all want to do.
This was,
I have a question. Okay, I noticed that they're talking about the fees, like, I think I called. I've had people ask, like, is there gonna be individual fees? Like, if one person wants to come out and use the range for schedule appointment or whatever they do, say they just want to use it for a couple hours one day and then make an appointment. So have they set any specific fees for like one use or?
Yeah, I think we made some proposals, but you know what? I decided just to let y'all kind of decide that because I've had some people want to incorporate it into the software membership, but then I've had some other council members say they think it should be separate. So we're trying to do this to give something to our community members that are interested. At the same time, we hope to generate some revenues from opening this, so that city's not eating, the expenses. So really, I guess we did y'all's feedback. I think Lauren's probably done more work than me on what those fees are, but I think we put some stuff somewhere.
I saw,
Yeah, there you go.
individual membership, 250.
I've been for this on SOP. I'm sorry, it's not mine, it's all, the last part of that.
it's the first,
All the recreational package
okay.
on the back of that first. It says individual membership. 350.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on page 2.
So
I saw that, but like I was saying, individuals like,
Pay rate, you have not done that.
okay,
These have to be done out with it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to make it.
okay. I just had some people ask, if they were gonna have, if they were gonna be able to pay that rate just to go out there and use it, because a lot of people won't use it all throughout the year. They'll just use it maybe once, twice a year and they want to, see if that's gonna be available too. So that was my question. I didn't know where we were on that part.
currently, one of the software membership options, the gun, like the highest level one or whatever one of those includes it. Right, and we're considering taking that off the full facility and just having a gun range membership. Right. With that option, y'all are wanting to take that option off the table, so it's 2 different memberships, right?
Initially, that's what we talked about, but again, this kind of defaults back to the council, and so we're just gonna allow y'all to decide how y'all want us to go. Kind of give y'all some proposals there, kind of what some of the big ranges, but I've had some other people approach me and saying that's really way out there as compared to some other big ranges like Holiday or Wichita, that sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, they're everywhere. We go. Whatever y'all think would work best for our community, but at the same time, allow the city to generate some revenue so that we can maintain it.
Plus, it's one makes an hour, $20 a month if you do an individual membership. It's not so expensive. I mean,
I don't know if you need to take it out, leave it in there, because there's some shooters that play golf. Some shooters that don't play golf, that only want to shoot the membership. So I don't think you need to take it out of the golf deal, leave it in there in case somebody shoots and plays golf. It might make it a little more complicated, but then have a shooter's membership only. Where they don't have to pay for the golf and all that, because they may not play golf.
so like,
May not have
is there
to swim.
a fishing only membership? Like, so if there's already a fishing only, it can't be, because a lot of people go out there and fish, so they don't play golf, but they'll do the opposite. Like, I like to play golf and maybe I want to fish, so I'll get the full thing. Maybe I want to shoot something. I'll do the full membership once it's open. And
So if we should do it, it would be a owner.
if you added the,
Add $22 to the. So you have a lead membership is $75, whatever, right? So if you're gonna do full lead, then you could add $2. That equals $50.
yeah, $20.80 to $2.50. But I have a family, so $3.50.
So we would just add that to the membership accordingly, and then you.
Right, but if I get the full facility and I have 2 kids and a wife, then I'm saving $3.50. And I'm not gonna pay as much. I mean, and then if I was a fish, I would say.
But your daily shooter's gonna have, your daily shoot price is going to be
pretty good, or people just gonna take a daily shoot and never buy a membership?
It's $20. They get like $20 or $30 for a daily.
Still pretty cheap. You
Wait,
go,
you do the membership.
twice, I go shoot 3 times a year, it's $180 out sale.
$50. I don't know. Yeah, it has to be
You know.
higher.
$40, $50, to shoot one time or daily shoot. To me, that'd be better than maybe we could sell more memberships. I can buy a membership and shoot all I want.
I was just throwing out there.
Just asking.
I think we make it where it's, high enough where they have to pay twice to do it daily and then, or get a membership. And then they don't use it 4 or 5 months in a row. We still get paid.
Well, then you may think of, maybe out of county or out of town people. You may do a rate for them. You show proof that you're from Dallas, Houston, or whatever. Hey, it's a different rate. If you're here locally, it's another rate here because we want you to buy memberships to just come out here 3 times.
Then think that would it, that will all be said.
I don't think the membership prices $250 and $350 of them are bad. I mean, those are appealing enough and cheap enough that somebody can do. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're going $20 a month and maybe go shoot once a month for a membership, it'd be worth your time. You put like $50 for a one use or something. You're like, well, hey, I said, I might get a membership. That's how twice a month. It's already worth it.
What if you did something like outside the city limits, be a rate, and if you're outside the county, and the reason I even thought about the $50, I was talking to John Moore one day, and he was talking about the gun range, and he said people, he knows it comes to Metroplex, use our gun range, and they would blink at $50. So. Buy me a membership, I go shoot year round. Use that.
$50 a day, right? They're doing it inside the city, inside the county, or.
I mean, if somebody,
It's gonna get too complicated. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but if you charge people out of the county, still $50, somebody from Dallas, they'll throw $250 at our city just to have a potential gun range down the road to go to. They'll get the membership. And then they may just forget because they got enough money and not even worry about it. They'll just keep renewing it and we'll just get their $250 every year. It's just like, that's the gym method. That's how they make their money. The commercial gyms, they make it cheap enough where you don't think about it. And they just keep you going. Planet Fitness, those people, 1% of them use the gym.
It's like $10 a month.
Yeah, and then 150 people pay and only 10 people come in and use it. Barely any wear and tear, and you get reap all the benefit.
Well, high caliber gun range in Wichita Falls, their bottom dollar membership is $219 for 24 visits. It's twice a month. So $250 a year. That's $219 a year. 24 visits maximum. So we're saying $250 unlimited, but pretty cheap.
People might come over from there just to shoot.
$250 is pretty cheap.
Because
That's
I'm
24 visits
all day.
and $10 any visit after that.
Double Tap in Holiday, Texas, got a steel targets and 12 different deals, hold USPCA matches once a month, and they're less than $200 a month. Now, probably if you join a match, it's gonna cost you, but you have a membership there. And it's less than $100 a year, sorry. 180 a year. Sorry, I'm spoke out of turn, but I don't know how the whole process works.
So you said that Holiday
This
has
is Holiday,
180.
Double Tap, gun range.
Their high caliber's non-membership is $20 an hour. That's for the first shooter. If they bring a friend, it's $15 an hour.
Get way too complicated for us. We want something simple.
Double Tap. Double Tap.
Thank you. Or it could do simple. 50. Yeah, but you can come shoot over here and then play your 9 rounds of golf at our game.
And go swimming. One of these days.
So I do that on two things. So, how often do you shoot?
If you're a hunter, do you only sight your gun in 3 times a year? Or do you, like, what's the norm?
You guys, like, there's like 100 different categories of shooters. There's people who
No,
just
no,
like
but
to shoot.
Think of like who your people are here. Your hunters, who's your yes, your current market. How many times would a normal, every average day person that doesn't have an arsenal at home shoot a gun? Or sight a gun in once? One time is what they're saying. And back. So it's their fault. But so if you're doing $50 a day for a day shoot, and at max, I have 3 guns I'm gonna sight in one time. Then I'll either take all 3 guns one time, save my money, and do $50, or it's $150 over the course of a year to go 3 different times. That means that I have to make then my annual membership less than $150 for it to be profitable for the majority to have a membership. So then that means you'd want to do $120 a year, $8 a month, which is a whole lot of money. But like, who's your market? The majority of your market, or you're pricing yourself at $50 a day, and you think your market's going to come out and shoot twice a month. I mean, I don't know. I personally don't think it'll be. Individuals will go out there that often unless they have a membership. They have to have a reason to shoot things, and ammunition is expensive. So if you're just sighting your gun in, how many times would you go? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
How many did you?
Yeah,
So once y'all look at 250, and I know it may be cheaper than holiday, but time to drive the holiday back a couple times, you're going to spend more money in gas. $50 for the daily rate.
I like that.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. We can fine tune it as we go, kind of see it going a certain way.
And when, once we get the kickback and the comment from the gun range people, whatever, then we can say, hey, we'll lower it down. Yeah. But let's get started somewhere.
So are we still good at this 350, 250 number and then $50 a day? Is that what?
So I'm hearing today, y'all want me to come to a couple of proposed projects.
Okay.
So that was changing this, but
Okay.
that's the only thing that. Rest of this, the things being reviewed and developed like the way it is, and all of that. So
Let me ask you a quick question. Is the way I read this, the gun range is gonna be open 7 days a week. Is that right? If somebody, I didn't
It's on
see
a call basis. They call and then it would, once a volunteer responds, the certified gun master, then they make an appointment.
but potentially it could be open. So, I mean, people can shoot 7 days a week
Yes.
if they could get a man out there to.
Correct.
An appointment, right?
We do have some people that are getting certified, correct? Or that's what I've been hearing. Well, I've talked to Mr. Incher about that numerous times, and currently, Jeff, that guy that was here last week, he understands they're supposed to be going to Weatherford and take this class so that they can come back and train everybody that wants to be trained. Now, I don't know where they are with that, but I've told him repeatedly, because we don't want this open. We gotta be, we gotta have our ducks in a row and have this done. So I don't know exactly where he is today, but I think it's been about a week ago. I talked to him about that. And so if y'all give us a thumbs up, they open it, that it should meet all these requirements, then we're gonna really push it hard to make that happen sooner than later. We just need a motion from y'all, or direction or whatever y'all want.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion that we open the gun range, as soon as we have the trained range officers, the inspection complete from the TML, and the process adjusted and approved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same. I think we're gonna, no, never mind. Let's leave it there. F, discuss, consider, and take action to purchase a new police vehicle, Ford Interceptor. Maximum expenditure of $89,595 completely outfitted.
Yeah, because this is
That number kind of jumped at me.
Yeah, it was supposed to be taken off, and so,
Supposed to be Dodge, right? Like, well, 17.
What's the amount now?
so what's the agenda? Is it on the agenda?
It did, it got
It's 89,595.
Was that on the posted agenda?
Says Ford Interceptor.
So, well, here's the deal. It is an agenda item, right, Lauren? I mean,
it's on this.
make sure it's posted. I'm supposed to take that off.
Oh, it's on mine.
It was the one that was posted on the Facebook or online, the link was. Yeah.
Okay, so-
People just saw.
So here's the information for y'all to make your decision. So I did go to Hayes Automotive, and to replace that motor, whole turnkey project, $9,981.49. Or you could go with either Durango or the Ford Interceptor. Roughly, it's going to cost you, about the same amount. It's totally decked out. It has all the police equipment on there. Or you can do nothing, but we don't have this money budgeted. So if y'all approve to have the motor replaced, or if you have by the Interceptor, it had to come out of ARPA money. And so that would, because all the other ARPA money right now is already been designated. So this would be all the ARPA money, except for Better Water does owe us about over $100,000 that they refuse to pay at this point. So you do have more money potentially there, but if they don't pay it, then you won't have it spent on anything else. So
What?
no, not the suspension. It has to basically do with the motor, labor, turnkey job. Put it back on the road. Well, there is no quote for suspension. I know they've had the suspension. No one's ever getting suspension to me, so.
Anybody can hear you, Bill?
Is there a suspension
But it
problem?
says that they're older vehicles, and so, Oh, okay, I remember us talking, no, I didn't get a quote for the suspension. I mean, I think the new motor would allow them to.
When I asked him, I said, is there anything wrong with the car? And Bryce said, other than suspension, probably not. And the motor, of course. But I was just saying, when we had it in the shop, why don't we fix it?
Does it just need a,
If we decide to
wheel
do that,
alignment?
I don't think it's broken. It's just, it's just more. It's like the rest of the car, because it's put out the shop.
It's just not a vehicle. It's supposed to be driven rough.
So,
But the way I understand is the Dodge Durangos are like, they like $15,000 cheaper than the, all there was.
That was a couple of thousand. I had this quote. Yeah, here they are. This car.
I think it's less than 10,000 difference.
So the bid for the 47,876, that is for the business. Then the Durango is 44,806. Well, the Ford Interceptor 876,
A little less than
and
3,000.
then 44,806. And then of course you have to have it equipped. So
what about, do grants come up for police cars and that kind? I'm thinking about limping by with the engine or something until we.
He did ask about one of them.
Yeah.
yeah, I did send that to Grant Works. They're supposed to be looking at it. I'm supposed to actually meet with him next week. To sit and talk about that a little bit more. So I know that they got USDA grant, I think, to buy the last set of vehicles that we have. And so, I really almost think put a new motor in this one and then giving us a little year or two to try to find some other grants. Might be doing good.
The car's no good without the motor. So what,
Either way,
so what you put the motor in it, maybe we can sell it, trade it in. Maybe the grant will come through if we did something like that. Or just wait till next year, maybe they can put it in the budget where we can start buying maybe one a year till we get them all in place.
Have we ever?
Which we talked about that in the budget. We were said it was all start, they put back money for one anyway.
Have we ever looked or considered buying slightly used ones from city auctions for the bigger cities or something like that?
I don't think you want them.
Not for,
I watch cops too much.
Yeah, I don't think we want to do that.
You ever see them turn a taxi? They don't have to pay now.
The pit maneuver, no, I don't think so.
I went by Jeff's office today.
I went by Jeff's office today and kind of talked with him. I do think putting a motor in it will get us by for a year or so. And I'm gonna try to work on grants this year. We've already reached out to some people. Chief Zeisel was pretty good at them and saying help us. So we are gonna go in that process. And that's what I came by talking to Jeff today. I said, the number one thing we need to focus on for our guys right now, body cams. And they're a whole lot cheaper than the cars right now. They're still expensive, don't get me wrong. I think if we get that car fixed, we can squeak by for another year and hope nothing else happens and another one blows, then it just is what it is. But I do think if y'all can get that one fixed, we can make do with what we have with our cars and our tasers. But our body cams are a big issue. Like they're just not one big problem. And ours that we have now, I need a year and a half old, and the company doesn't warranty them. No, you got to buy new ones, and so we buy cheap ones that don't last us. Not a big deal on that. So
I got a question for you, Bryce. There's 4 officers.
yes.
Is there any way to get 2 cameras and just swap them?
So your
Or with
cameras
the-
are assigned per officer for
Okay.
evidentiary purposes. So our first quote was for 6, which gives you 2 extras for your reserves. But I did go get a quote for 4 just to get by your full-time officers. And then if you have a reserve, somebody working, they can work for whatever officer they're covering for. They can use his camera or something like that to get by.
I do want to make a correction. I said something wasn't accurate. Metal water doesn't cost 100,000. 100,000 does include the water tank rehabilitation. So we've not done that project yet. But if we do that project and they don't pay us like they're not paying us for the asset-free project, then that would be over the $100,000. That's where I got that number. So I just wanted to clarify that to you. I couldn't apologize.
So did you tell me the other day that the Harbor Fund could take care of their cameras too?
Well, I'd have to look into that. Probably.
And we use the ARPA funds for one vehicle. That means every other department that was requesting something that could be paid for with ARPA funds is gone. And it's just the police vehicle, right? But just cleans the slate. No, you're good. Sorry. If we use those ARPA funds to purchase a new vehicle for the PD, and all the other requests that could have been paid for the ARPA funds from the streets, water, whoever other department it was, they're off the table now because it's all going to.
Not necessarily depends on if metal water. pays.
Right, but I mean, that's a-
Take rehab and for the ST project. If they
Right, I
don't,
mean, we can't play in the
yeah,
what ifs, because
that's
this
all
could
they
take
can say.
forever to get them to pay out. We don't know how that's going to pan out, but
We need, let's go ahead. We want to go ahead and deal with this at this point. Somebody, okay. Do we want to just take no
Table
action?
it? Or just no action and then we talk about it?
Well, if it's on the agenda, y'all can take action or.
We play with motor leads.
It's on the-
Yeah, that's,
yeah.
somebody make a motion.
I make a motion that we, replace the motor in the whatever unit number that is on the police car.
Second.
For the amount Dr. Fraser said with Hayes Automotive.
9981.
$9,981.49.
There may be a few more costs on that too. What I was told, maybe oil, antifreeze, and maybe,
I think that includes all that.
that's, okay, yeah, you better put about another $500 on top of that.
Okay.
You make it a second? Councilman Glass, we got a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay. Through that, we've done the executive session.
Mayor, I make a motion, we adjourn.
We have it.
I second.
Yeah, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, same sign. No discussion on that either. Thank you. Appreciate everybody being here. Chase Hoyt back there. Water folks. Donnell.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. So, it's probably, but you're. Let's go.
I see.
I get to share on. Yeah, we share it too. Yes, I always do because I'm listening to the long. I mean, I saw that, but I didn't.
We're not doing it.
Oh, I know. See, there's. It is.
The large pad, colored pad. Behind that, we put these in the police report and then in your back.
Just, I was at the, it's always in color. It's shades on. It's part of the actual. I'm just saying, we can there, yeah. We can afford it. I think it's a cool thing to ask, but they don't. Yeah, they don't feel like they're. It's really more. There we go. Nice. But. And then if it goes somewhere. That code, and now it's called back. Like, oh, yeah. Like you go logo and they said. That's the, you know, right. Yeah. That's what you're just going all the way. I did that. You know what?
Yes.
No new, no new revenue tax rate to generate the same amount. Then you got the three pennies off inflation and you're still below that.
He does, got 10,000 of them. Well, if he comes along,
Like an ambulance.